The predicament of passing for a white individual in a society with strong historical ties to white supremacy that persists in its present state of affairs should not lend itself to the notion that such an individual is obligated to ignore what could be, as is very often the case, a plethora of cultural backgrounds that have led up to their existence in favor of a fabricated identity and set of ideologies set forth by the predecessors of wealthy government officials and oligarchs who make strong efforts to perpetuate a society that serves their personal interests to the point of the extinction of basic individual liberties and human rights. However, people such as myself, who do not wish to be associated with such evil agendas, but who also do fit a description associated with the aforementioned agendas, should not be ignorant of the privileges and advantages afforded to us in various circumstances at the exclusion of equally deserving people who do not fit into a racist fantasy of how socioeconomic and geopolitical infrastructures ought to look. The current state of affairs, as it pertains to recent events, is somewhat reminiscent of the George Floyd protests against police brutality 5 years ago, although there are also other pertinent issues involved. I recall, at that time, finding myself in a cage with fellow protesters, and although there is an obvious solidarity in experiencing wrongful arrest and wrongful imprisonment as a group, it would be very ignorant of me not to acknowledge the disparity between how I and other white passing individuals were treated and how much worse the treatment was for those who did not look like us. I seem to favor the use of the term white passing since, as a Jewish person and as the grandchild of a Holocaust survivor, I have no reason to see myself as white, though, as already mentioned, that does not mean that I am ignorant of unfair advantages afforded to me for being a person who looks as I do. I recall a recent post someone made suggesting that a lot of people are revealing themselves to be the type of people who would have seen someone like Anne Frank as a criminal and reported her whereabouts to the police if they had lived in that period of history. I can definitely see why people would draw such comparisons between the past and present. I personally celebrate people of all ethnic backgrounds. I judge people according to their character, to the best of my ability, and I personally think that the world would be a better place if people from all over the world could have an easier time traveling to various places, participating in various economies, and finding homes for themselves without it being seen as some kind of threat. Those who are currently out there protesting ICE and its unfair targeting of Hispanic people have my full support, and I think that people who may not be as directly affected by these events as others should still not be afraid to speak out against them, and should certainly reject the regimes that have necessitated civil unrest during these times if they truly see themselves as proponents of human rights and individual liberty.